Does double the engine power equal double the pulling capacity? Let's find out. Scaler454 here. Welcome back to the channel. I have already done a pull test to see how much each one of my locomotives can pull individually, and I recommend you go watch that video. Otherwise, spoiler alert, I am going to reveal the results to that test, at least for the locomotives that we're going to be testing again. But now I have put some of my locomotives in a consist, and I want to see how much of a difference in pulling a second locomotive makes. We're going to be testing the Intermountain SD40-2s, the Broadway Limited SD40-2s, and of course the Scaletrains Tier 4 GEVOs. Now, there is no question to which one of these is going to pull the most, but that's not the point. We want to find out how much better a second locomotive is. The same as last time, we're going to be pulling these Rapido Procore GP20 box cars. They're quite heavy at 34 grams a piece, and I have 12 of them. I have a few of these rail box cars. These are 32 grams each. And some of these CN hoppers, and with the plastic insert, they weigh just 15 grams each. But we're going to need more. So I broke out the BLMA tank cars. I have some Intermountain grain hoppers, and then some of these little CP rail hoppers as well. So let's throw these on the scale and see how much these weigh. First, the BLMA tank car, 30 grams. Then the Intermountain, 32 grams. And finally, the little CP rail, 20 grams. As a reminder, we'll be conducting our test on this portion of the layout, which goes through an 18-inch radius curve as well as a 2% incline. And that incline starts right about here, and it ends right about here. However, right here has always been a trouble spot. Right in here, they always seem to stop right there, and I'm curious to see if it's going to be the same when we run two locomotives. We're going to start with the Intermountain SD40-2s. Locomotive 5771 is the one we tested before, and it is DCC without sound. It weighs 82 grams, and it managed to pull 10 of the Rapido tank cars for a total of 340 grams. Honestly, a little disappointing. This one, 5737, is DCC with sound, so we need to throw it on the scale to see how much it weighs, because it's got a speaker on it, and then we can figure out our combined weight. 85 grams, so 3 extra grams. That gives us a combined weight of 167 grams, and we're going to start with all 12 of the Rapido tank cars, which honestly should be light work since this is about 408 grams. And honestly, I'm expecting about, I don't know, the better part of 600 grams. But either way, I got to pull it off this track and get it down the main line. So this is where we're going to start. Let's go. We're making our first climb. Speed setting 20. So far going no problem. Seems easy. And just as we suspected, it made it up without a problem. We'll tack on all 4 of the box cars, which gives us an extra 128 grams. Ooh. Aside from a short disconnect, I think that's so far so good. I've added 3 of the BLMA tank cars, which is an extra 90 grams. So we're getting up there now. Oh, is it slowing down a little bit? Ooh, maybe. But it is going to make it, I think. But I made it. With 2 more tank cars, we're up to 686 grams, which is more than double what we did last time with just this locomotive here. If it can do this, that'll mean it can pull double. Woo, boy. Well, that's a good sign. But without a doubt, it is spinning the wheels now. It is slowing down, but it made it through the curve. Usually by the time it gets to here, we got it done. Nice job. We got all 6 of the BLMA tank cars on there now. That's 22 in total. And I think we're pushing the limits now. I'm even going to give it a little bit more speed. Speed setting 22. You can hear the wheels. And we're getting up to our trouble spot. It's moving pretty good though. In fact, yes! Oh! Oh boy. It's struggling. It's struggling. You can hear the wheels spinning. But I think we're gonna make it. Yes! Oh, that's awesome. Added on the little CP hopper, extra 20 grams. Oh, it's spinning already. Oh, is it gonna make it? It's looking okay. Ooh, I don't know. We made it through that part. Oh, it is really dragging. But it made it. Yeah, it made it. Well done. Yeah. Now with 2 of the CPs, we're rolling. Speed setting 25. Oh, it's slowing down already. Oh, it's slowing down now. Oh my gosh, it's trying. Oh, that is it. That is it. In a last-ditch effort, I replaced the 2 CP hoppers with this Intermountain grain hopper. So instead of 40 grams, it is 32 grams. Here we go. Oh, it seems like it's already struggling. I wonder if that Intermountain has a little bit more wheel drag. I don't think it's going. I don't think so. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. It's done. The Intermountain SD40s pulled all 12 Rapido tank cars, all 4 box cars, all 6 BLMA tank cars, and a little CP hopper at the end, giving us a total of 736 grams, which is more than double what we did the last time. But keep in mind, this one is a little bit heavier. I mean, yeah, it's only 3 grams heavier, but a few grams makes a difference. So, will the BLIs give us the same results? Next up is the Broadway Limited SD40-2s. These weigh 86 grams each for a combined weight of 172 grams, just 5 grams more than the Intermountains, but I find that a few grams can make a difference. Now individually, one of these pulled 11 of these Rapido tank cars and one of these little hoppers for a combined weight of 389 grams. Are these going to be able to pull more than the Intermountains once again? Well, we'll find out, and we're going to start with all 12 of the Rapido tank cars, all 4 box cars, and all of the BLMMA tank cars. It sure does sound good with both locomotives fired up. Our first climb up the hill. Gosh, it sounds like the wheels are spinning already. It definitely is spinning the wheels. I can't believe it! I can't believe it! Well, maybe these just need to be warmed up a little bit, but that was power 20 and it didn't make it, so we'll crank it up a little bit and see if we can get it up the hill. Now at power 28. Still spinning. For sure spinning. Come on. Come on. There we go. All right, on. We tacked on the little CP car. We'll see if he makes it up with this. Probably not, based on what we already seen. Oh my gosh, I stand corrected. It made it. All right, we're still going. We'll replace the CP coal car with this grain car. We'll see if we can make it up now. That's trucking along okay, but starting to spin the wheels now. Oh yeah, she's slowing down quick. I mean, it's still moving. Oh, I think it's gonna stop. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Holy cow, it made it! It made it! But it's still struggling pretty heavily around this corner. No! Yes! Yeah! There it goes! It made it! How about that? I think we've already reached the limit, but we'll add on this little car right here just to be sure. And if it starts to slow down and stop, I'm just going to shut it down right away, which is pretty much happening right now. Yeah, it's done. It's not happening. So the Broadway Limited pulled just 12 grams more than the Intermountain, which is surprising and somewhat a little bit disappointing, to be honest. But what if we had one of the locomotives pulling at the front and the other pushing at the back? Here we go. I don't know if this is going to make much of a difference based on the location of the front one and the back one on my layout, but we'll see. The answer to that is definitely worse. Wow. I think I had a derailment in here. I think that's what caused the problem, so let's try this again. Oh, this one's just struggling down here. No traction. It is worse. So I have a theory to why that didn't work. This locomotive is obviously climbing the hill on the straight, coming up to that trouble zone that we always have, and everything's normal. But this one back here, not only is it just starting to get onto the incline, but it's also going through a corner, which means the wheels are not in contact with the track as much as if it was on a straight. So that means less traction. So this locomotive is less effective in the back than it was up front when it was on a nice straight piece of track. All right, with a couple of less tank cars on the back, I think it's gonna make that one. So we finally made it up. Perhaps a bigger surprise is that locomotive 5668 failed to push this train by itself on flat ground. And yeah, it is quite a long train, as I got all the BLMAs back on it, and that's 716 grams, but it's a flat track. I kind of expected more than that. Finally, we have the Scaletrains ET44AC Tier 4 GEVOs. These big boys weigh 111 grams each, 222 grams total, which is 33% more than the Intermountains, and that's a lot. So obviously, these are going to pull the most, but how much more? Now we're going to start with the entire train that includes all 6 of the BLMA tank cars. I should mention that just one of these was able to pull 487 grams. Will these be able to pull 2 pounds worth of freight? I'm not expecting these to have any problems, and so far so good. Yeah, that was easy. We're going to have to dip into some of our other freight cars, breaking out these Intermountain grain cars right here. These actually have a little bit more rolling resistance than these ones, but they are the same weight. We're going to add on 4 more of these Intermountain grain cars, which is an extra 128 grams. Not quite all of them are on the hill yet. But this is slowing down. Ooh boy. Oh man. I am shocked, but this is a struggle. It might not make it. Nope, not gonna do it. Let's replace those style of green cars with these ones and see if it's any better. Same weight, but like I said, these kind of roll a little better. Well, it seems to be moving better so far. But as soon as these ones start to get into the curve, that's when we start to have our troubles. Come on, you gotta be able to make it. Oh, wait. Dang it! With one of them removed, will it finally make it up the hill? It's gotta happen. Come on. Come on. Hey! I think we got it. Boy, it pulls through the corner pretty good. Yeah. It got through it now. I'm a little sad. I expected the Scaletrains to pull 30 cars. Instead, it only managed 25 for 812 grams. But if 2 is better than 1, what about 3? I'm going to put the third locomotive in the back as a pusher. Now, I am aware that the Broadway Limited SD40-2s performed worse, with one pulling at the front and one pushing at the back. But hear me out. I believe that keeping this third locomotive on the flat part of the track, especially the straight part, for as long as possible, while the other 2 are climbing the hill and eventually make their way onto this flat part of the track is going to be more beneficial. Now, I could be wrong, but that's the way I'm going to test it. Now, I did have to bring out some more, freight cars. And these Procore tank cars, they weigh 41 grams each. And then this one right here, I don't know the brand of that one, but that weighs 31 grams. So these 10 extra cars, that is 322 grams of extra weight. And this one, I've already tested it. It does make it up this hill, no problem by itself, but we'll see how it does when combined with these ones. Also, if I had all three locomotives in tandem, that is a lot of weight for that one coupler right there. Now, I don't know how much weight these couplers can take before they break, but I don't really want to find out today. So if anybody knows, please let me know in the comments. Got the front two ready to go, and the rear one ready to go. Yeah, we're climbing the hill at a modest power 15. Seems like it's easy. You can see this one down here is still on the flat track. This is good. And it makes it up the hill without a problem. That's encouraging. We added 4 of these Atlas box cars at 32 grams each, so 128 extra grams. That's not a small amount. That's a cool shot. Here we go. Is it going to make it through? So far, it's looking pretty strong. Oh, yeah. It definitely made it. We're going to need to step this up. We added on these 4 CP rail grain hoppers. Couldn't tell you the brands, they were bought used. One even has a little bit of damage, but that is an additional 130 grams. Again, this seems easy. This seems easy. And I believe it's all because this one is traveling nice and straight down some flat track. We're on to the CN hoppers at 15 grams a piece, so another 60 grams. Oh, there's a little bit more struggle right in here, but it is going to make it to the flat part of the track. We've added the last of these CN coal cars, so another 60 grams. So good. So our rear locomotive is just getting onto the straight now. Just as that one is about to finish the hill right there. That's what I was talking about. Why I put that engine at the rear as a pusher. I think we're good on this one. I've added on this box car, these 2 gondolas, and these 2 flatbeds for an additional 113 grams. And if it pulls it, that's it. That is every car that I own. Our main engines start over there on the curve, and it goes all the way around, all the way around, back to here. 59 cars. Can we pull it? Get the slack out of everything so it's all moving. There you go. I have to take it easy over there because I had one derailment already. Start feeding on the power slowly. This is power 20. Can hear a little bit of wheel spin. Ooh, definitely some wheel spin. I now have all three locomotives in the turn. But now that these ones are hitting the straight, I think we might be okay. Come on! Come on! Oh my gosh, yes, come on! That one's just hitting the straight back here. And this one is on the straight up here. And they seem much happier. That is too awesome. And that, everybody, is a full pull. Well, that was a hell of a lot of fun, and I think we have some answers to the question, does double the engine power equal double the pulling capacity? Well, it depends. It does. For the most part, I would say yes, but it's heavily dependent on your layout. How many corners do you have? How tight are the radiuses? Do you have any hills and inclines? And how steep are they? Because that plays a huge factor. In any case, let's look at the data. With just one locomotive running, which we did in the last video, the Intermountain SD40-2 was the worst performer, 340 grams, and also had the worst pull to weight ratio. The Broadway Limited SD40 actually had the best pull to weight ratio, 389 grams, and the Tier 4 GEVO obviously could pull the most by a lot, but it also weighed the most by a lot. With the engines in consist, 2 BLIs with one pushing and one pulling, not such a good performer. Only 656 grams, and that's only a 3.8 to 1 pull to weight ratio, which is 1.69 times as much as it could do with just one engine. So I was kind of hoping for better. The Intermountain, on the other hand, their SD40's 736 grams, which is more than 2 times as much as it could do with just one locomotive. And yes, there is that extra 3 grams, but still, I was impressed. Very happy with that. With the Broadway Limited SD40s with both engines pulling at the front, 748 grams, big difference. And honestly, it's pretty much the same as the Intermountains. I mean, we're talking a 4.35-ish to 1 pull to weight ratio, and nearly 2 times as much as it could do with one. So they're pretty equal. The Tier 4 GEVOs, I was expecting better. Honestly, a bit of a letdown. Yes, 812 grams. Unsurprisingly, that is the most of all of them. But relative to the weight of the locomotives, that actually performed the worst. Just 3.66 to 1 pull to weight ratio, just 1.67 times as much as it could do with one locomotive. And yeah, I was expecting at least 900 grams, 30 cars or so, but yeah, it couldn't do it, at least not on my layout. But then we had the 3 Scaletrains. Whew! 1,716 grams, by far the best pull to weight ratio, 3.5 times as much as it could do with one locomotive. That is incredibly impressive. All 59 of my cars, and yeah, maybe it could have done more. I mean, I maxed it out, but it was on the limit for sure. How do I have a layout that was flat, maybe 30 feet of long straight track? I think the results would be even different. I think with the 3 locomotives, I bet you that could pull 80, 90 cars. I don't doubt it for a second. Yeah, that thing was pulling like crazy. But, you know, like I said, it's layout dependent. But let me know in the comments if you guys have ever done a similar test, or what's the longest train you could pull, particularly in N scale. But I am curious about the HO as well. And also, if anybody has an answer to how much these little couplers can take before they break, I'd love to know the answer to that one, because I'm curious, but I also don't want to test it to the point where they do break. Yeah, you know what? If you've never done this test, I recommend you do it, because I learned so much. I now know how much weight each one of these can pull, and depending on what kind of freight loads I want to do, I might have to say, you know what, I'm going to choose this combination of locomotives to make it happen. So, great information to have. And if you guys found this video helpful, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.